The silence in the tunnel lasted exactly 45 seconds. N'Golo Kanté stood there holding the envelope, and nobody in that stadium could breathe. November 2019. Stamford Bridge. Chelsea vs Crystal Palace. Final whistle. The score didn't matter. What mattered was happening in the tunnel, away from the 70,000 fans still singing in the stands, away from the television cameras packing up on the pitch, away from everyone except the handful of people who would carry this story for the rest of their lives. N'Golo Kanté walked through the tunnel toward the dressing room, his Chelsea kit soaked with sweat and rain, his legs heavy from 90 minutes of covering every blade of grass. Another complete performance. Another match where he'd run further than anyone else, tackled more than seemed humanly possible, and done it all without a single word of complaint. He was 10 meters from the dressing room door when the man stepped out from the side corridor. Expensive suit. Dark gray, perfectly tailored. The kind of suit that costs more than most people earn in a month. Leather shoes polished to a mirror shine despite the damp concrete floor. A face Kanté had seen before but never spoken to. One of those men who exist in the shadows of football, the fixers and intermediaries and power brokers who move players like chess pieces. "N'Golo," the man said, his voice smooth, practiced. "Do you have a moment?" Kanté stopped. He always stopped when someone spoke to him. That was who he was. Even exhausted, even wanting nothing more than to shower and go home, he stopped. "I don't think we've been formally introduced," the man continued, extending his hand. "My name is Marcus Bellingham. I represent certain interests. May I speak with you briefly?" Kanté shook his hand. Gentle grip. Brief. Respectful but not warm. "I'm quite tired," Kanté said softly, his French accent wrapping around the English words. "Perhaps another time. This won't take long." Marcus reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a white envelope. Thick. Heavy. The kind that holds something important. "I have a proposition for you. One I think you'll find very interesting." Kanté didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. The tunnel had that particular echo quality of concrete and metal, where every sound bounces and amplifies. A security guard stood 30 meters away, pretending not to watch but definitely watching. Somewhere down the corridor, voices from the home dressing room, laughter, music, the sounds of victory. Marcus held out the envelope. "Inside is a contract. Pre-negotiated. All the terms already agreed upon. A club that wants you very badly. A club that's willing to pay you 3 times what Chelsea currently pays. They're willing to guarantee you the captaincy. They're willing to build the team around you." Kanté looked at the envelope but didn't take it. "The offer is time-sensitive," Marcus continued, his voice taking on that urgency that negotiators use when they want you to act before you think. "They need an answer by tomorrow morning. But N'Golo, I've seen the terms. This is generational wealth. This is security for your family. This is recognition of what you truly deserve." The security guard shifted his weight, leaning forward slightly, sensing something was happening. "You don't have to be loyal to a club that undervalues you," Marcus said, pushing the envelope closer. "You've won everything here. Premier League. Champions League. World Cup. You've proven yourself 100 times over. Why not get paid what you're actually worth?" Kanté still hadn't moved. His hands remained at his sides. His face showed nothing, not anger, not interest, not even curiosity. Just that calm, almost gentle expression he always wore. "Take the envelope," Marcus said. "Just read it. That's all I'm asking. Read the offer. Sleep on it. Make your decision tomorrow." For 3 seconds Kanté said nothing. The tunnel hummed with the building's ventilation system. Water dripped somewhere. The distant sound of fans in the parking lot. Then Kanté spoke, so quietly that Marcus had to lean in to hear him. "Who sent you?" Marcus smiled. "A club that respects what you." "Who sent you?" Kanté repeated, same soft tone, same gentle voice, but something in it made Marcus stop mid-sentence. "I'm not at liberty to." "Then I cannot take your envelope," Kanté said simply. Marcus's smile faltered. "N'Golo, you don't understand. This is the kind of opportunity that comes once in a career. The money alone." "I did not ask about money," Kanté said. "I asked who sent you. If you cannot tell me who is making this offer, then there is no offer. There is only a stranger in a tunnel with an envelope." The security guard was definitely watching now, hand near his radio. Marcus's professional demeanor cracked slightly. "You're being unreasonable. This is how these things work. Discretion is necessary until—" "No," Kanté said, and the word hung in the tunnel like a physical thing. "Not aggressive. Not angry. Just absolute. This is not how things work. This is how things work when people think I do not have principles." He took one step back, creating distance between himself and the envelope. "I know who I play for," Kanté continued, his voice still soft but carrying weight that had nothing to do with volume. "I know who I signed my contract with. I know what I promised. If another club wants to speak with me, they speak with my club first. They speak with my agent. They do it properly. They do it with respect. Subscribe and leave a comment, because the most important part of this story is still unfolding." Marcus's face flushed. "You're making a mistake. Do you know how much money?" "I know exactly how much," Kanté interrupted, and for the first time there was steel in his gentle voice. "You told me. 3 times my salary. Captaincy. Security. You used all the right words. But you came to me in a tunnel. After a match. When I am tired. When you think I might not think clearly. You came with an envelope I cannot verify. From people you will not name. This is not respect. This is not how you treat someone you value." The envelope was still extended between them, Marcus's hand beginning to tremble slightly with the effort of holding it up. "Put your hand down," Kanté said quietly. "I will not take what you are offering. I am being exactly who I am," Kanté said. "I am being someone who does not make decisions in tunnels. Who does not accept offers from people who will not identify themselves. Who does not break promises because someone waves money." He took another step back. "If this club you represent truly wants me, they will contact Chelsea. They will do it properly. They will show respect to my current club. And then, if Chelsea agrees to speak with them, and if my agent believes it is worth discussing, then perhaps I will listen. But not like this. Never like this." Marcus lowered the envelope slowly, his expression shifting from confidence to confusion to something like grudging respect. "You're actually serious," he said, more to himself than to Kanté. "I am always serious about my word," Kanté replied. Away from the cameras, Kanté made a choice no one expected. What happened next would be talked about in that tunnel for years. Not because it was dramatic. Not because anyone raised their voice or made a scene. But because of what it revealed about who N'Golo Kanté actually was when no one was watching. Kanté didn't turn and walk away. That would have been the easy choice. The expected choice. Instead, he did something that Marcus Bellingham would remember for the rest of his career. He stepped forward. Not aggressively. Not threateningly. Just one calm step, closing the distance between them again. "May I ask you a question?" Kanté said. Marcus nodded, uncertain. "Do you have children?" The question caught Marcus completely off guard. Yes. 2 daughters. And if someone came to them," Kanté continued, "in a place where they could not verify who was speaking to them, and offered them something that sounded wonderful but required them to break a promise they had made, what would you want them to do?" Marcus opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. "I would want them to say no." "Yes," Kanté said simply. "You would want them to have principles. You would want them to keep their word. You would want them to demand respect even when someone is offering them treasure." He gestured to the envelope still in Marcus's hand. This envelope, Kanté said, represents someone who does not respect me. Because if they respected me, they would not ask me to be dishonest. They would not ask me to sneak. They would not ask me to betray. It's just business, Marcus said weakly. No, Kanté said. Business done without honor is not business. It is something else. Something I will not be part of. The security guard had taken 3 steps closer, though either man noticed. I make £11 million a year. Kanté continued. This is more money than my father made in his entire life. More than my mother ever dreamed possible. It is enough. It is more than enough. If I need more someday, I will earn it properly. With my feet. With my work. Not with secrets and tunnels. He looked at Marcus with those calm, steady eyes that had faced down the world's best attackers without flinching. You told me this was about what I deserve, Kanté said. I deserve respect. I deserve honesty. I deserve to be approached as a professional, not as someone who can be bought in a corridor. Your envelope does not give me those things. So I do not want it. Marcus lowered the envelope completely now, holding it against his chest. I was told you were different, he said quietly. They said Kanté wouldn't care about this stuff. That he just wanted to play football. I do just want to play football, Kanté replied. But I want to play it the right way. For people who respect me enough to ask properly. With people who do not ask me to lie. But what followed would stay with everyone who witnessed it, forever. What Kanté did next was so simple, so small, that anyone walking past might have missed it entirely. But the security guards saw it. Marcus Bellingham felt it. And both men would tell the story differently in the years that followed, but both would agree on this part. N'Golo Kanté reached out and gently placed his hand on top of the envelope. Not grabbing it. Not pushing it away. Just resting his hand on it, like a father might rest a hand on a child's shoulder. I will tell you something, Kanté said, his voice dropping even lower, intimate now, like sharing a secret. Something I learned when I was young. Marcus waited. In football, the easy choice is almost always the wrong choice. The easy pass instead of the right pass. The easy run instead of the hard run. The easy celebration instead of helping your teammate up. Football teaches you that the hard choice, the right choice, is what separates the good from the great. He patted the envelope twice, gently. This, he said, is an easy choice pretending to be a smart choice. It is money pretending to be wisdom. It is opportunity pretending to be respect. But I have learned to see the difference. He removed his hand from the envelope. Go back to whoever sent you, Kanté said. Tell them that N'Golo Kanté said no. Not because the offer was not good. Not because the money was not enough. But because the method was wrong. Because respect matters more than wealth. Because I gave my word to Chelsea, and I will not break it for an envelope in a tunnel. Marcus nodded slowly, something changing in his face. They won't believe me. Then bring them here, Kanté said. Let them meet me properly. Let them speak to my club. Let them do it the right way. And if Chelsea agrees to listen, and if the offer is still good, and if I believe it is the right next step for my career, then perhaps we can talk. But not in secret. Not in shadows. Not like this. He extended his hand again, not for the envelope, but for a handshake. Marcus took it. Firmer this time. Longer. I came here thinking I knew what kind of player you were, Marcus said quietly. I was wrong. Kanté smiled, that small, genuine smile that had disarmed 1,000 interviewers. You knew what kind of player I am. You just didn't know what kind of person I am. Now you know both. Marcus tucked the envelope back into his jacket. They'll ask me what happened. Tell them the truth, Kanté said. Tell them N'Golo Kanté doesn't make decisions in tunnels. He turned and walked toward the dressing room, his boots echoing on the concrete. The security guard stepped aside, nodding with something like reverence. Share and subscribe, some stories deserve to be remembered. Marcus Bellingham stood in that tunnel for another minute, alone with the envelope and a lesson he hadn't expected to learn. He never approached another player that way again. The story spread quietly through football's hidden networks. Not in newspapers. Not on social media. But in conversations between agents and executives and players who understood what it meant. N'Golo Kanté had been offered a fortune and refused it in 45 seconds because the method was wrong. The envelope never came back. The club never made a proper approach. But Kanté wore the Chelsea blue for 3 more years, won more trophies, and never once regretted the decision he made in a tunnel when no cameras were watching. Some things matter more than money. Respect. Honor. The right way. N'Golo Kanté knew the difference.